CJ Peters. I'm the founder and CEO of Konsole Kingz LLC. So today I'm here to tell you how I broke into the gaming industry with my company Konsole Kingz. But first, let me tell you what Konsole Kingz is. Konsole Kingz is a video game lifestyle brand, and in some respects we act as a quasi-agency connecting the hip-hop industry and the video game worlds together. So with doing that, we specialize in virtual goods, so gamer picks, wallpapers, backgrounds, anything you use on the PlayStation and Xbox to customize your profile, we make those, and we have been making those for years. And even the avatar items as well, for both PlayStation and Xbox. And we also make mobile games and mobile apps. One of our, flagship titles would be Black Spades. It's a Spades mobile app on Android, iOS, and Amazon. It's kind of popular with people that play spades. So let's get right to it. How I got into the video game industry was really three things: networking, hustling, and passion. And then combine that with my kind of tech and media passion and background. That's how I got into the industry. But let me elaborate and expand on that for you. So when I was working at IBM, I was also working on the side doing websites, and one of my major clients was David Banner. I knew him from college. He tracked me down and he was like, "Hey man, I need a website. I know you can do those things, so I'm going independent. I need all this website, web stuff. I need to sell stuff online. Can you do that?" And I was like, yes. So keep that in the back of your mind. So once I made the decision to get into the video game industry, I said I wanted a company that can do tournaments and events, be media, and also make games. And that's a lot of things to do. So of those things, the easier of the three is to do video game media, right? Cover video games, get some hosts, get a camera, film the hosts talking about games, and go around covering video game events from, a hip hop perspective, because that's what I do. That's what I love. That's what I am. So I did that, got a crew together, got some of my friends. One of David's friends is Bone Crusher. One of Bone Crusher's brothers, Derek, knew some other friends, and we got together. Show and CJ, by the way. Another CJ, not this one. We got together and we started filming video game reviews. And I had another project called My Kind of Hip Hop, and it was a DVD magazine, but everybody had DVD magazines at the time. This is around 2003, 2004. And I was like, I got to do something with my DVD magazine to make it better. So I scrapped all the other parts of the video game So I scrapped the rest of the magazine and kept the video game part, because that was the most interesting thing. I thought of a name, Konsole Kingz. It was sent to me by the heavens. That was the name because that's what we played on, consoles. Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, Wii, all those things are consoles. So that became the name. I said, okay, to make a DVD magazine, I got to learn how to make a DVD. At the time, I didn't know how to make a DVD. Only thing I knew was how to shoot and edit video, because I did that in college at LSU. Manual, not linear. Linear, not non-linear. But that's another story. So I learned how to do that. So I took this class, a hurry-up class on how to make a DVD. It was like a 2 weeks training class. I didn't even have a Mac computer at the time. I just went to the class and took down all the notes on how to make a DVD, how to author a DVD. And then when I finally got my Mac, I was able to look at those notes and make a DVD. So once I had a DVD made, I said, okay, I got to get this in front of the gaming industry and show them what I'm doing. So I made a little prototype. So that year I said, okay, I'm going to go to E3. I'm going to save up my money. I'm going to go to E3. E3, as you know, is the big video game convention. I went to E3, made some contacts, collect some codes, showed them the prototype, showed them what I was doing. People was like, cool, okay, we get it. Contact such and such, contact such and such. Because, to look official, you got to have trailers in your magazine. You got to have interviews for video games. You got to have games before they come out. So I didn't know anybody. what I started doing is probably what anybody else does. I took the game, flipped it over, looked on the back, looked at the address, put the company name in there, found their number, and just called the PR people at the company. I was just cold calling video game companies left and right. Boom, 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 boom. And then finally, a couple of them understood what I was doing, namely 2K games, NBA 2K, Rockstar, Grand Theft Auto. They're under the same umbrella. So there's no reason why they get it, and there's no reason why they're still two of the most popular games right now. So they got what I was doing. And they sent me video games trailers. So a couple other companies got it too. Universal, because they had the music side. So Universal, Vivendi, they knew what I was doing. They sent me trailers. And the trailers were on Beta, a Betamax, like an old, big old tape machine. I didn't have a Beta machine. I had to call my boy Flex. He had one because he used to work at MTV. He let me see his Beta machine. I digitized everything, put it on a DVD, made another DVD. Then I went back to E3 a second year, did the same thing. This time I had a better prototype. Got some more names, collected some more contacts. I also went to CES. That's the Consumer Electronics Show. It's bigger than E3. It's the biggest electronics show in the world. I went to that, did the same thing, showed the prototype, collected cards. Came back. Made another prototype. Then went to E3 for the third year. And then on that year, while I did that, while I was making a prototype, I met this guy named Marcus Matthews. He had a video game company and he made mobile games before iPhones. I'll just say that, Before iPhones, phones were flipped and you had to, use a little thing to move the game. So he made those games. So basically, I asked him if I could intern with him. So while I'm doing all this networking, I internship at a mobile game company. And just to learn, just to be around the industry, because I didn't major in video games. This wasn't a major. It's just something I liked and loved, and it was media, and I like media. Interned with him while I'm building this prototype. Took my final prototype to the E3 for the third year. And in that prototype, Marcus knew a guy named Denmark West that worked at MTV. And then, since, he worked at MTV, but before that, he worked at Xbox. When he was at Xbox, so Mark was like, hey, have you ever met him? I was like, no. So I met Denmark. We had a chat. Denmark asked me, what was I doing? What did I want to do? I'm going to go to MTV, but I can open the window for you if you tell me what you want to do. So this is kind of a good part of the story. I told him what I was doing, and we was in the PlayStation booth. It's real ironic. He worked at Xbox. We was in the PlayStation booth. Never forget it. And he took it. He wrote an email to the head of Xbox Live about Konsole Kingz and what we were doing, how we were hip hop focused, and hip hop is a dominant, force in entertainment, and we're doing great things. And then the key thing that he did was he took out his BlackBerry, yes, BlackBerry, and he showed me the email. He said, "Is this what you want to say?" I read his email there. We're doing this all standing on the show floor in the PlayStation booth. I read the email and I was like, nah, change this, kind of fix this, tweak that, do that. And then he did it and he sent it off. Send the email. I got a call like a month later, this guy from Xbox Live. And he said, hey, we like what you're doing. We're interested. We want to have a meeting. So we had a meeting. Mind you, I never had like this type of corporate meeting. So I called my sister because she works in corporate America. She helped me put together a deck so I can pitch to Xbox. They liked the pitch. We had to go back and forth for like 6 months, and then I finally got on Xbox Live. I finally got on Xbox Live via Denmark. But here's another little backstory. Remember when I said, remember David Banner? So me and David Banner went to Florida to a TJ's DJ's conference. He had to perform. We had a booth. TJ let me get a booth to show off what I was doing with Konsole Kingz. So me and my guys drove down with Banner and we set up a booth for some video games. Small story is, it's a small world. TJ wanted Banner to perform. I knew TJ was throwing this conference. TJ saw what I was doing because I pitched it to him. He liked it. He said, yo, I got a cousin that's into gaming stuff. I don't know what he does, but his name is Denmark. You should holler at him. His cousin is Denmark West, the guy that helped me get on Xbox Live. So you never know where your network is going to lead you, but you just got to go places, go where a lot of people are going to meet, and talk to people, and things could happen and unfold for you. So that's just a networking story. If you're trying to shorten the path with you and your goal, and there is some kind of place, online or virtual, where everybody's going to be at once a year or twice a year, you need to be in that place. Just because you're there, you're going to bump into people from all over the world. So that's what I did. I knew the whole gaming industry was going to be in California. That's the only place I could hit everybody at one time in the shortest amount of time, in the shortest amount of days. So you got to do power networking when you're trying to really get it. Anyway, back to Xbox Live. So I'm on Xbox Live. So I said, okay, I'm going to put my DVD on Xbox Live. Forget making a physical DVD. All the gamers are playing Xbox Live. So let's just put all the content in Xbox Live. And that's what I did. Put all the content in Xbox Live, stopped doing the DVD. And then that got the attention of Xbox PR team. They were trying to promote Xbox 360 to the urban hip hop community even stronger, because they know that Grand Theft Auto and Madden was big on PlayStation, and that was the two dominant games for the hip hop urban space. Auto for the first time on Xbox 360. So they said, hey, we're doing this thing. It'd be great if you can do some stuff. Can you do this? You know, what can you do? Because they saw I had all the interviews with rappers and entertainers in Atlanta on the DVD magazine. So I was like, hey, well, maybe we can do a party with Little John. And we do it at Patchwork Studios and do like a Halo gaming lounge. So I pitched that. They loved it. And that's how we became a little agency connecting hip hop and video games together. Within doing that, I couldn't do events forever. I mean, you can, but that wasn't my bread and butter. My strength was creating media and content. So while on Xbox Live, I saw that, all these ads were about, download this gamer pick, download this theme, download this picture pack. I called Xbox. I was like, can I do this? Can I make these things? Because I couldn't make a game because I didn't have a staff or a team and all that stuff. So I couldn't make a game. But I knew how to make graphics and media because I was a graphic designer as well. So once I did that, but before I say that, it's a real funny story. It's real key to being focused on what you want to do and your passion and your dreams. So when I was going to do that, my partner Marcus said, what you're going to put on a gamer pick? I said, our logo. I said, I think it's cool. It's this crown right here on this microphone. I think people like it. He looked at me and he said, nobody want to buy that. I was like, whatever. I know this logo is cool. I've heard people tell me it was cool. So I put it on a gamer pick and it blew up. Like people start downloading left and right. I mean, like 2,000 downloads a day, just crazy. But these downloads are attached to dollars. It's not just free downloads. People are paying and buying it. And that kind of really helped establish our cornerstone to become a real legitimate company, because we were selling these virtual goods on Xbox. And then stick to your guns and stick to what you think is right. And then if it fails, so what? At least you failed knowing you tried what you said you was going to do. It could just work out. Even if it's a shot in the dark. Even if it's a shot in the dark, you do it and you watch it go in flames, or you watch it skyrocket to the moon. So we did that. Then I contacted Sony finally. And then Sony said, okay, you're doing that on Xbox. You're having success. Yeah, you can do it here too. So once that happened, we just started doing virtual goods for a couple years with Sony and Xbox. And then my partner Marcus he was working on a game. He wanted to make a gaming platform online. And he said, well, I want to make my own games. I was like, cool, let's join forces and make a game. First game we decided to make was a spades game, Candy Coated Spades, with Candy Burris from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Before she was on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I just knew her as Candy from Escape. I knew she played spades. I connected us all together. She let us use her likeness, and we put out that game. Learned a bunch of lessons from that game, and then that game helped me to create the foundation for Black Spades, which is now, kind of successful and steady rolling, and it's going to continue to roll. But just life lessons, networking, and that is what led me to hear you guys telling you my story. It's real quick. I left out a whole lot of stuff, but if you really want to hit me up, get in contact with Jerome. Let him know that, hey, I want to talk more with CJ. He mentioned some things that I think I really want to do. Maybe he's have some advice, and I'll definitely set up a call, me, you, Jerome, and get it going. But that is my story. That's how I broke into the gaming industry. Just to recap, networking. I went to every major networking event, talked to everybody, showed them what I was doing. Also, learning to perfect my craft, right? I had to learn how to make content to show up on the DVD, show up on the Xbox, video content. I didn't go to school for any media. I went to school for IT. Learn how to make a web page and those type of things. So I studied on my own to know how to produce video, do graphic design. I went back to school. I went back to the Art Institute of Atlanta to get another degree to help me produce good quality video. And then after that, it was just a passion and drive. I wanted to really do this. I thought it had legs. I knew video gaming was going to blow up. I knew hip hop was only going to get bigger. And I know a lot of hip hop people that like hip hop, also like video games. It's just the way it is. And that's what I put those all together. A lot of contacts, a lot of networking, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard work, a lot of sleepless nights, which is probably why I can't sleep now. But whatever, I did it. And you can do it too. So CJ, founder of Konsole Kingz, wish you all much success and hope you learn a lot from your projects that can propel you to your future.